Welcome back, YouTube. It is Saiko, and today we are here back with another video in our 30 teams in 30 days series. And in today's video, we're going to be covering the Los Angeles Clippers. But before we even get into the video, guys, if you guys could please hit the like button and also hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to also hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on another video. I'm also trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year. We're really close to that. I think I'm around like 77. So if you guys could please hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure that Kawhi, the fun guy, would too. Who am I kidding? Kawhi literally doesn't use social media at all. I don't know, man. So this offseason, the Clippers essentially kept pretty much the same team as they have had for like the last 2 years. They traded away Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, and Daniel Oturu for Eric Bledsoe. And I'm not gonna lie to you, other than the fact that yeah, they do free up some money, it's kind of still like a head scratcher to me on why Bledsoe is here. They were also able to re-sign guys like Nicholas Batum and Reggie Jackson, especially Reggie Jackson, who last year actually looked like sometimes the second best player on the court, especially in the playoffs. Kawhi also signed a long-term deal to stay with the Clippers, so that's really good because honestly, if he didn't and he just walked, then the Clippers traded 6 first-round picks for Paul George for nothing because that was the only reason why Kawhi came to them in the first place. Oh, and also Serge Ibaka did take his player option, and they were able to also sign guys like Justice Winslow and Harry Giles in the offseason as well. I also forgot about the fact that they also signed Isaiah Hartenstein, so I guess that's also another big added to their roster. In the draft, they got Keon Johnson from the Knicks, they got Jason Preston from the Magic, and they also got BJ Boston from the Grizzlies. If you couldn't tell by the amount of teams that I named, they didn't even have their own pick. They had picks from other teams, or at least they traded for picks from other teams. As for this team's starting lineup, they won't have Kawhi Leonard this year, or at least I'm expecting them not to have Kawhi Leonard, so I'm expecting something around the lines of Eric Bledsoe at the 1, Luke Kennard at the 2, Paul George at the 3, Marcus Morris at 4, and Serge Ibaka at the 5. Although I do see Reggie Jackson starting over Luke Kennard just because of the fact of how he performed during the playoffs, so if they made that switch, I wouldn't even be mad about it. Off the bench, I see Reggie Jackson, Keon Johnson, Terrence Mann, Nick Batum, and Ivica Zubac getting a majority of the backup minutes. But I also feel like guys like BJ Boston and Justice Winslow could also crack the rotation as well. Eric Bledsoe was a guy who looked really nice on the Bucks during the regular season, but every time it came to playoffs, he just didn't perform. And I guess he looked alright on the Pels, but I didn't think that he was a good fit there compared to Drew Holiday at least. Him being on the Clippers honestly isn't any different than Pat Bev being on the Clippers. He can't really shoot and his defense is around the same level as Beverly's. I guess he could be a better playmaker than Pat Bev, but I don't really know. He's more of a scoring guard. They call him Mini LeBron for a reason. I just don't understand why they traded away Pat Bev. I mean, yeah, for maybe the money, but like, for Bledsoe, really? Luke Kennard proved last year that he can be a pretty good shooter off the bench. I do see him as a starter just because of the fact that I think that Paul George is probably going to move over to the 3 this year. My only problem is that, yeah, the guy can give you 12 to 15, but he's also going to give up 20 points on the defensive end because he's just a pick and roll target. But I guess the fact that he can score is kind of a trade-off for that. They also paid him a lot of money, so I mean, they better start him, or at least like I feel like he should get a decent amount of minutes because I mean he was getting DNPs last season when they paid him like 64 mil for the next 4 years or something like that. Come on, I think you gotta start him, or at least you gotta give him solid consistent playing time. Paul George is my favorite player in the league right now, and I know it sounds so weird coming from a Lakers fan, but fuck it, dude. PG really played like playoff P last year, and I mean he was elite for this team, especially in the playoffs. They beat the Jazz in 6 without Kawhi in like the last game or 2, and they also took the Suns to 6, which I mean if Kawhi was healthy for that series, they probably would have won and been in the finals, and he did that by being the #1 guy on the team. Without Kawhi potentially for this entire season, I could actually see PG being MVP G13 like he was his last year in OKC. I believe in you, PG. Will he win MVP though? Probably not, but I can dream, can't I? I mean, you're my favorite player in the league, and I mean that's what I'm doing. I'm being your biggest fan. So I'm expecting you to ball out this season, bro. I love you, PG. Marcus Morris was successfully able to find his role on the team last year, and that was pretty much being a stretch 4, a spot up, stretch up 4. He shot career highs from the field and from 3 last year, so I mean, he's kind of found the perfect role for him in LA, and I don't expect that to change going into this season. Serge Ibaka was injured for the majority of the season last year, but I mean, when he did play, he looked pretty decent. I don't know how he's going to look coming back from back surgery, but I mean, I hope that he just comes in, blocks shots, and shoots 3s like he has the last few years, and if he can do that, then I mean, his role has been fulfilled. Reggie Jackson is a guy who in the playoffs last year literally proved who he was. I can actually see him starting over Kennard because of the fact of how well he played last year, and I mean, the team rewarded him and didn't just let him him walk in free agency. So, I mean, if that kind of shows who the Clippers are or how much you're valued, Reggie, then I don't know what does. As amazing as he looked in the playoffs, though, I don't know if he's going to perform like that for the entire season, but I'm hoping that he can perform at least around that type of play. Keon Johnson is a rookie that was looked at to be the best athlete in the draft. He might not excel on the offensive side of his game for his first year, but I mean, he's pretty much looked at as kind of a project. His ceiling is supposed to be Jaylen Brown, so I mean, hopefully, you know, he could do that. And if he was that, then I mean, I would love that for this team. But I could also see Brandon Boston getting minutes here just because of the fact that I feel like we've seen him a lot more in preseason. And plus, looking at him in the preseason, the kid looks like an absolute bucket. So if he got minutes over Keon Johnson, it wouldn't even surprise me at all. Terrence Mann just got paid for how he performed in the playoffs last year. I've been a big fan of him ever since his days at Florida State. And he really looked like that guy coming off the bench that the Clippers really needed, especially like against the Jazz. He literally exposed Rudy Gobert. I love Gobert, but I mean, like, man, Terrence Mann literally tore you up, bro. I think because of the contract that he just signed literally a few days ago, he's gonna get so much more playing time, and I literally cannot wait for this guy to have a breakout year because he deserves it. Nick Batum was a guy last year that could really show that he could get quality minutes in this league still. He was a starter to begin the season last year, and then halfway through, he was started coming off of the bench. For his age, he'll give you solid minutes, he'll shoot a three here and there, and he'll play pretty good defense. I don't think we're ever gonna see Portland Trailblazers Batum, but I mean, the Batum that we have here, I mean, I would take it over nothing. Ivica Zubac was the starting center for the Clippers for the past few years, but obviously because of Serge Ibaka coming in, he went to the bench. But I mean, Ibaka got injured for a majority of the season, so pretty much Zubac was back to being a starter. And he's always really been a nice player. I kind of wish that the Lakers never got rid of him in the first place. But like, I pretty much expect him to play as he's been playing the last few years. He's going to be a solid defender. He's going to get lobs here and there. He's pretty much just going to, you know, be a really solid role player. And I could actually see him starting again if Serge Ibaka doesn't perform well. As for this team's record, because of the fact that Kawhi is still recovering from his ACL, even though he is technically ahead of schedule, I don't really know where to place this team. I feel like if I were to place them, though, they would probably be around the 5th to 8th seed, just because I don't think that they're going to be a top 4 seed this year. Just because they don't have Kawhi and PG, I don't think PG is going to will this team to like a top 4 seed at all, as much as I love him. But if Kawhi even does come back for the regular season, I feel like he's going to load manage his injury, because I mean, that's what he's pretty much been doing since Toronto. Also, if he were to come back, I feel like it would be late in the season when they're trying to make a playoff push, or at least like get a good seeding, and I don't think they would want to play him heavy minutes anyways, especially in the playoffs where guys' minutes just ramp the hell up. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Clippers are going to be a top 5 seed, or do you think that they're going to be at the bottom of the conference? Can they stay competitive without Kawhi? If you think so, or you don't think so, leave a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe for more content. My name is Saiko, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for another 30 teams in 30 days on the Denver Nuggets. Bye, guys.